to that environment which is not desirable, where restlessness comes in, because the world consciousness is restless. There's no question about that. And when you're in that, your mind is restless. Now, you may not be doing anything extremely evil or sinful, but nevertheless, it's not of God. That's the important thing. It's a restless environment, and you are kept in that restlessness. You may want to be good, you may want to follow God's wishes and Master's wishes, but you cannot do it due to the restlessness of your mind. And so that's the important thing about environment. People say, oh, I mixed with good people, and they're all right, but they're all restless, because that's the law. As the Gita says, all men walk the earth wholly deluded. And so when we mix with that type of those people, we become deluded also. And so the key to environment is as follows. And this is the law of environment. If you'll remember it, it may help you to keep out of the wrong environment. When you mix with worldly people, you become worldly. When you mix with good people, you will become good. But when you mix with God, you become godly. Now, is there any doubt in your mind where your environment lays? It is in the presence of God within. We have right within ourselves the supreme environment of God's presence. Whenever you can, through the exercise of will and discipline, lift your gaze from outward consciousness to the point between the eyebrows. There you see the light of God. There, in of that light, you feel His nearness. You know He is with you. You know you are never alone. Can there be any environment superior to that? That's why the teachings of self-realization are so wonderful. They give you the ways and the means to contact that environment. Not having conditions just so and so and so and so, and nobody around bothering you, or this one calling you and all that, and this child crying and all that. In spite of those things, you can lift your consciousness to the light. You're in the presence of God. Now, isn't that supreme environment? So, to do that, though, we must keep away from wrong environment until we get the strength and the power to put our consciousness there. So, environment is very important. Very, very important, and it plays a great part in our life. Now, the greatest environment, I said, is God. And what is God? We say this over and over and over again. Some heed it, some get busy, some, as I said in the beginning, just drift along lackadaisically until the end comes and relieves them of all their troubles for a while. And back they come again to go through it again. Who wants that? Why not make a little effort in the right environment? So the right environment is God. What is God? God is the Word spoken of in St. John. God is a holy vibration, not an idea. God is something real and tangible. Now, when you can be in the presence of God, that's the presence of God, that's the supreme environment. When you can be in the presence of God as the Word, the holy vibration, with the great cosmic light right in front of you, or with the great Amen, the Om, vibrating through your being, with its peace and bliss, or the feeling of God, or His love, saturating that holy vibration. That's the supreme environment. That's what we all must have. Having that, we will be saved from the delusion and Maya with its great darkness power. And so environment is very, very important. I have a reference here which I will give. First, I have a little story to tell you about environment. It works in nicely. And this little girl said to her mother, she says, Mother, does our minister come down from heaven only on Sundays? Where is he the rest of the week? That reminds us of the church lady who said, "Our minister is incomprehensible on Sunday and invisible the rest of the week." So there's environment for you. It seems that environment didn't do him much good, did it, if he stayed away the rest of the week. But the reference I have is this. About environment, it is very wonderful. And I want to read it to you. It's from Kabir. He was a great saint. He was a saint. He was a broad-minded saint. He was a saint, as I understand it, of both the Hindus and the Mohammedans. Now that's something, because there was a great feeling between them. I don't know as it still exists, but anyway, he was a saint for everybody. He was a real saint. So he says this: through his own power, man cannot attain to the knowledge of God. But, he says, God will reveal himself to those who listen to his voice. Could it be any clearer? Those who listen to the cosmic sound of Om within them, the great Amen. To those who listen to his voice, he alone overcomes doubt and truly lives, who has welcomed this message in his heart. And so you see, religion, true religion, is so simple. The Vedas say, he who knows Om knows God.